I was astonished to hear a knock on the front door. It sounded cautious and uncertain to begin with. Secondly, it wasn't even 8 in the morning on a Sunday. Thirdly, the apartment's key was already in the possession of everyone I pleased. It seemed strange, but I opened the door since it might have been significant. My initial impression of the slender, attractive blonde who was standing on the porch was nothing short of stun. "Hi, James." Maddie. Maddie is lovely, intelligent, and full of life. Maddie, my former spouse. Maddie was someone I detested. I attempted to contain my heart rate as it rose. "Maddie, I never thought I'd see you again. We should discuss, even if I know you didn't. We ought to have discussed this long ago. How did you find me?" "I came after you left your mom's place. I recalled that Monday nights are when you normally go there. Making the decision to knock on your door wasn't simple for me." Though it was a feeble smile, she did smile. It was quite unlike her to be uncertain, yet she was also unquestionably determined. "Can I come in?" "What do you want, Maddie?" "Please, James, give me 5 minutes, and then I'll leave." My dramatic sigh was as strong as my aversion to anything Mad asked of me. Shutting the door behind me, I trailed her into the living room. She was quite distressed, and I had no desire to comfort her. "So, what do you want?" Maddie's large blue eyes scanned the space rapidly, but she saw very little. Personal possessions were still in boxes because the flat was new and the bedrooms, baths, kitchen, and office took precedence. She gave the couch a thoughtful gaze, but, uninvited, decided to stay upright. She looked up at me. "Is tea being offered? Coffee?" "Maddie, you're not a guest. Express yourself freely." "James, how are you?" "Actually." I laughed. "Why do you care?" "James, you have my undying affection. I have always done." "Is that why you've always made love to Tom?" Maddie's turn to sigh came now. "You understand why. I had never loved a man until I did, him. My first love was with him. We share a really unique connection." "And you didn't think you should have shared that information with me before we got married?" "I didn't realize I still felt something for him. He enlisted in the armed forces. I fell in love with you after 14 months of not seeing or speaking with him. However, you slept with him each time he returned to the city, starting a few weeks prior to our marriage and continuing for the whole of our 3-year marriage. Even when you vowed loyalty to me, Maddie, you never gave up on him, Jesus." Everything was true. The divorce settlement contained the investigator's whole solution. She was at least civil enough to glance at the ground. "What do you want, Maddie?" "I want my husband back to rebuild our family." "Ex-husband, I'm leaving you behind. Maddie, you destroyed our family." "Divorce was not what I wanted. You stopped talking to me after you left us. It's been 2 years since I've tried to speak with you. Neither you nor I have anything to say to each other. Take advantage of your desire for Tom. Being with you was my desire. I occasionally desired him too. That is not a game I play. I made the decision because you were not allowed to." Maddie's eyes gleamed with tears at those remarks. I don't pretend to understand her, but if I had agreed to the relationship she desired, I would have died. Everything was preparing us for this. "Your baby needs you, James." My ears throbbed, blood shot to my brain, and I was too stunned to think clearly. "It's not mine, Beth. You were knocked up by Tom. The custody hearing revealed this. I think we could work together to figure out a way so you can see Beth. You must adore her, I know that." "I am not referring to Beth. Our son is here." I gave him the name Jimmy. The roaring in my mind kept becoming louder, even though I didn't think it could. I don't recall anything about the next few minutes, but I'm not sure how I stayed upright. My thoughts simply shifted to process this fresh blow. I gave a bitter laugh as it returned. "Maddie, I've seen this show before. Our baby is on the way. You're going to be the greatest father ever, James, I can tell. But that wasn't my baby, it was Tom's." Yet it is accurate. I was unaware of my pregnancy until I received divorce papers from you. Furthermore, I assumed that my lack of menstruation was due to stress. We had already signed everything, and Tom and I were making plans for the future when I found out I was pregnant. "So what part of your plan for the future brought you here?" "I'm here because I love you." Your attitude towards me demonstrated that. Tears sprung to her eyes and began to fall. They appeared genuine, but you never knew with Maddie. Beth really misses you, and Jimmy needs his father. I concur as well. When we broke up, Beth was not quite 2 years old. Since I moved out, you've been able to find me at any time. She's been away from me for longer than she's been with me. Maddie, what's actually happening on? Tears fell from her long lashes as she lowered her eyes once more. Tom moved out a few months back. He stated that he won't be returning, but I have no idea where he is. At all. Why? Maddie paused. He couldn't accept the fact that Jimmy was your son. I was unable to resist. I gave a menacing grin. Oh, well then, you've made a bad choice. James, please. I ask you to please. I cherish you. The children adore you. It's our duty as a family. Together, we are who we are. Take this seriously. On Jim's birth certificate, who is named as the father? After crying for a while, Maddie whispered, Tom. Then it looks like you're looking for your husband in the wrong place. James, please say no. I cherish you so much. I want no husband except you. The only person I have ever desired. I promise. Maddie's face twisted with pain, her breathing laboring as she sobbed, her sorrow palpable. I forced myself not to extend a consoling hand. She appeared disoriented and pitiful. The dynamo that had captured my heart had vanished, to be replaced by this hopeless and pathetic waif. My heart started to bleed for her suffering, but for some reason, I was pain-free. The sound of a key in the front door lock saved me. With relief, I turned around, and a smile of anticipation spread across my face. And sure enough, the door opened, and a dark-haired thin vision appeared, dressed in yoga pants and a puffy jacket, carrying a cardboard tray containing 2 paper cups with lids and a bag of baked goods. You're home, I declared with a big smile. Sally gave me a brilliant smile in return, but she looked at me bewildered when she noticed Maddie. Honey, it's Maddie. When Sally realized it, her lips pulled tightly together before curving into a chilly smile that had little to do with her expressive dark eyes. Hi, Maddie. Much has been said about you. This is my wife, Sally, Maddie. It was not my place to enjoy Maddie's suffering. Her eyes grew wide and eventually became slits. She could only nod while trembling from the sobs. She opened the door and hurried past us. After her, I carefully shut the door. Are you okay, sweetie? Sally put her palm lightly on my cheek and looked directly into my eyes. To be honest, I was a little afraid. Although I knew I would see her again eventually, I had no idea what to expect. What did she want? Compromise. She says I'm her son's father, but Tom went away. Oh no, James, is that really true? That might be. I completed the divorce fast, realizing she was never going to give up on Tom. I offered her everything she wanted to sign with the money we had. She might have been pregnant without realizing it. What are you going to do if that's true? Sally handed me the tray and bag, which I placed on the kitchen island. I gave her a hug after taking off her heavy jacket and hanging it in the hallway closet. I gave Sally a kiss, my lips gently brushing hers. My darling, we're going to carry out our routine of doing the right thing. That's what you taught me. Maddie and I will figure out the best way to help him, if I am this boy's father. But it will take place inside our married home. Me and you. I will never return to her. With a smile, she vanished within me. In the wake of Maddie's treachery, Sally was my rock. I was initially devoid of hope, irritable, and distrustful, snapping at the smallest perceived or actual provocation. Every day, Sally reassured me that I could confide all of my thoughts and emotions in her, even after accepting my scars. She demonstrated to me my worth and my capacity for real love. We built a passionate, long-lasting relationship by relying on Sally's kindness, her patience, and her unwavering love in the face of my most destructive cravings. This woman has my undying love. In addition, I stated, stroking the baby bulge that had been apparent for a few weeks, we have a matter of our own that will shortly require our entire focus. Sally smiled at me again, clearly in love. Talking about which, your infant and I are ravenous. Where are the tea and scones? We chuckled and made our way to the kitchen while holding hands. How do you interpret this? Tell me in the comments section below, please. Thank you for coming today. In order to make sure your next chef stays faithful, subscribe to our channel. Await the following story with interest. When you consider what's to come, it's nothing. But I strongly warn avoiding listening to the next story if you're younger than 18.